What is up, guys? Just a quick video. Wanted to answer a question. So I got a pretty interesting question about what are the 5 of my favorite phones that I really love in each price bracket so far. So I usually don't buy super expensive phones, but I want to go ahead and talk about it because the first phone that I really love is the Galaxy S10e. It's one of the phones that they don't make compact phones anymore, and it's kind of weird because 5.8 inches, a lot of people don't think that's compact, but it's definitely compact these days. Most phones are going to be like 6.4 to 6.7 inches, and that's usually the normal size for a smartphone these days. So the Galaxy S10e, having flagship specs, 855, a really nice AMOLED display with the punch hole, and you also have really great cameras on this phone. I really love this phone. It's something that I appreciate. I wish they made more compact phones. Now there is a new iPhone coming out. I think it's going to be the new updated iPhone SE. I'm really interested in that, but it's looking like Apple's going to go with the same kind of watered down design that I really hate, with the fat bezels and all that. So I'll probably pick it up, but probably not going to be too interested, solely because of the dated design that they're going with. So the next phone is the LG G8. This is a phone that I really like because of the price point. Now, I've made 1,000 videos on this phone, and it's basically a flagship phone. You have flagship hardware, and the cool thing with this phone is that the next phone would be the LG G8. So what makes this phone really unique, and it's why I always promote it, is because, again, the price point. This thing has came down dramatically in price in the used market. You can get this for 200 to 260 for the unlocked version. I'll put the links down below as always. And yeah, it's also very unique because of the audio experience you get. So you have the quad DAC on here, so if you're really interested in music, you can download the high quality audio files, and if you have some really good headphones, you could really take advantage of the headphone jack on here. It's really excellent. So it's one thing that I really love. LG has always been really geared towards music listeners, which is kind of a niche thing that no one pays attention to, but it's definitely something I appreciate. Next, believe it or not, is the iPhone 11. Now, I know I bash this phone a lot on the channel, and it's only because of the display on here. I'm just hate the huge notch, and I hate that Apple made that such a trendy thing. But it does have the Face ID, which is very good. It's very secure, and it also one of my favorite phones because it has an excellent camera. The cameras on the iPhone 11 are really great. I've compared it to other cameras, and it's just really great. Good detail, dynamic range, and also the video is excellent as well. The 4K video is excellent. I shot one of my videos, the 7 Pro versus the G8. I shot that video with the iPhone. I don't know if I told you guys, but I shot that with the iPhone. You can go check that out. The quality is really good. So I didn't see anybody say that they saw a decline in quality from using the Lumix G7. So that was really interesting. So the iPhone's video is really excellent. Next is going to be the LG G7. So this was my favorite phone, mostly because it got me into Motorola, or it got me into LG as a fan, because I wasn't really into LG because of all the bad, I guess, press that they get with their phones. But once I picked it up and used it for myself, once I saw the G7 was a really cheap price, I picked it up when it was around 200. You can find it cheaper for around 150 and stuff like that, but I picked it up and I was blown away, like I said, because of the solid hardware and also all the flagship stuff at the price, but also the quad DAC, the really great speaker. It's got one of the best single firing speakers I've heard till this day. It is really awesome. So also the 1440p display, very high crystal clear displays on these LG flagships, something I really like as well. So it was one of the phones to help inspire me to get the rest of the LG phones. And while we're on it, I have to mention the V40. The V40 is like it's like the big version of the G8 or the G7, you can say. Doesn't not have the A55, but it's super fast. It's got the A45, and it plays everything on high. All those LG flagships actually play all games on high, which again is impressive. But it's like the big version of the G7. So if you want a phone at the same price, pretty much around 200 bucks, it can pretty much do anything you wanted to, and it's got the OLED display. It's bigger, so if you don't like smaller phones, because the G7 has a 6.1 inch display, then you'll be a big fan of the V40. But it's basically the same thing. And one thing to note, the speakers are not as good on the V40 as the G7, sadly. All right, I think I said 5, but I'm just gonna throw in the 7 Pro because it is the phone that I use all the time. The 7 Pro is just unique because of the beautiful design, one, and you just have the full screen display, and I think Oxygen OS is really sweet. If I was going to consider moving away from the 7 Pro as a daily driver, I would really be concerned about the updates with other phones, because it seems like this phone gets updates all the time and it's super fast. That's one of the unique things that I really like. Oxygen OS is very clean, it's very customizable. It's something I really enjoy besides the massive 6.7 inch 1440p display, which I also really love. So if you're super into media, this is like the perfect phone. It really makes you not want to go back to a phone with a notch or even a punch hole, as you guys saw with the Galaxy S20 Plus. I liked it, but once you just go, use a phone without the punch hole or a notch, it's really hard to go back to it. Now, I could definitely use a phone with a notch or a punch hole as like a backup phone or a second phone, because I always have multiple phones on me. I never really have just one. But yeah, so I really like this for a media consumption device, and everything else on this phone is pretty solid. The cameras, the stereo speakers, all that stuff. So that's pretty much it. I think that was 6 phones, but these are the phones that I really love. Be sure to let me know which phones do you guys have, which phones do you guys want. Be sure to let me know, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.